The nightmare arrives not with a loud bang, but with a simple vibration buzzing against your nightstand.
Your screen illuminates the dark room, showing a single banner notification reading, "Ballistic missile threat is inbound."
For a split second, your brain rejects the data, but then the atmosphere shifts and pressure drops.
Through the glass, you hear the city waking up in terror, with the frantic rhythm of running. Existence compresses and your future options vanish, so the absolute first priority is silencing your internal panic.
Panic is a saboteur waiting in your lungs, so inhale deeply right now and verbally announce facts.
That tiny moment of vocalization forces your biology to slow down, so do not wait, just move. Choose your destination instantly by going deeper indoors to find a basement or room without exterior walls.
If you are caught exposed, locate the heaviest cover possible, because geometry saves lives in this moment.
The distance from the epicenter and the density of the barrier are the only math that matters.
Filter your intake immediately by clamping a mask over your face, because radiation rides on dust particles.
Secure the lifeline items immediately available, like a charged device and water, then abandon the rest now. Send one message stating your location, then locate a battery radio and tune to the emergency frequencies.
Act with precision and speed as a unit, because these axioms determine if you will see tomorrow.
When the noise finally dies, you are inside, where sirens are wailing, but they sound distant now.
Your pulse is thumping so violently you feel it in your fingertips after moving with such velocity.
You lock the latch, and the bolt slides home, creating a stillness for just a single heartbeat.
The chaos outside has not ceased, but has evolved with time.
Signal icons vanish, and electrical grids often collapse seconds after a high-altitude burst or nuclear strike.
Fallout requires time to descend unless you are at ground zero, taking minutes for currents to drift. Drag supplies into your fortress and stuff vents with rags, so air drops but safety rises.
The urge to look out a window is physical, but curiosity is a lethal trap right now.
You realize the loudest sound in the room is your own respiration, which is steady and mechanical.
You do not know which capital fell, but in this specific instant, ignorance is actually your armor.
Nobody wants to confess the old world is gone, but the new one has just arrived today. The digital digits read 7:42, yet it feels exactly like midnight inside your own soul.
The first 60 minutes post-alert are the most grueling because they force a strictly binary choice.
Your biology is at war, as one impulse screams to sprint, while the other begs to burrow.
If you witnessed a flash staying is mandatory, because radioactive ash begins falling shortly after clouds form.
But if you are distant from the blast, the siren might simply warn of an inbound missile.
Highways will be parking lots and fuel pumps dry, because panic travels faster than gasoline engines do.
You crack a window seal just enough to listen, and find the world is hushed, but empty.
Resilience is not about muscle or cardio. It is about regulation and the capacity to function now.
High above, fighter jets scream across the sky, which is the sound of history happening right now.
60 minutes are gone, and the initial adrenaline spike has washed out, leaving a cold, dense clarity.
The trivial and mundane objects that meant nothing yesterday now look like holy relics to your eyes.
One bottle is approximately 4 hours of life, so you mark the plastic caps for each session.
Seal the low gaps, like windows and vents,
but leave a tiny upper fissure for gas exchange.
Drag dense furniture against exterior walls to build mass, because concrete is king and wood beats air. If the grid holds, use it ruthlessly to charge devices, before the home becomes silent and dark.
You imagine fathers in cellars, widows by the curtains, and toddlers being told it is a game.
You must keep moving and ordering, because routine is safety, even in microscopic ways, like tallying calories.
The brain seeks patterns when the universe abandons them, so you have done your best for now. Your fortress is stronger than it was 6 minutes ago, while civilization outside continues sliding into the abyss.
Inside, you construct the first layer of logic, but sourcing actual data will be the true test. Hours dissolve into fragments, and long quiet is punctured by noises that make your gut clench tightly.
A slamming gate or muffled shout could be war, but you stop trying to diagnose the sounds.
Simply monitor and endure until your screen flickers with signal and texts arrive in staccato rhythm.
A contact claims London is gone, another says it is a hoax amidst blurry clips of smoke.
The newsfeed is a blender where information is a virus dressed up as a fact right now.
You do what the masses fail to do, by unplugging and grabbing a notebook to record sensory facts.
Alarm sounded, then signal died, followed by silence, which is your empirical truth, while the rest is fiction.
You crank the radio to find static, then a robotic voice from the emergency broadcast system speaks steadily.
The loop resets every 10 minutes, telling you to shelter in place and avoid transit and respiration fluids.
It proves a chain of command persists, so you set a hard boundary to audit radio hourly.
You will not scavenge for rumors in the interim, because terror feeds on ambiguity and breaks your sanity.
Calm is cultivated in the quiet, as you reflect on the brittleness of modernity and our ethereal webs. Power lines and logistics are woven like spider silk, snapping at the first breeze of violence and severed.
You remain breathing and governing this tiny kingdom of dust, which is the distinction between surviving or erasure.
Outside, the wind howls, carrying smells of ozone and sulfur, which you honestly do not want to confirm. You silence the radio and inhale once to prepare for the 12th hour of hunger, shadows, and tribe.
The light has shifted to gray, filtered through haze, and the tremor in your hands becomes permanent vibration.
Caloric deficit begins to gnaw with a hollow, dull cramp, but you are disciplined and sip water sparingly.
Then the noise comes with yelling and boots on pavement, so you drift toward the entry and freeze. Humans are neighbors or marauders, and someone pounds on the wood once, twice, aggressively, so you stop breathing.
Empathy screams at you to unlock it, but the cold pilot navigating your survival whispers to hold fast.
Despair makes neighbors dangerous, and as pantries empty, community curdles into predation over rumors of hidden stockpiles.
It is not malice, it is biology. Because everyone is terrified and loathes someone they need to...
You remain silent until the pounding ceases and relief washes over you, followed by nausea at the retreat.
You never thought you would deny shelter to a soul, but in the wreckage, morality becomes fluid here. You peek through the blinds to see stalled sedans and debris rolling in a quiet that feels predatory.
Down the block, a structure burns, orange flames licking the gray sky, so you draw the shade tight.
You sit and log the data, reading it back to remind yourself you are the protagonist, not victim.
You learn how eternal a night can be, when the sunrise is not promised and you lie waiting.
You survive the darkness of full rotation since the alarm, and rise with shock rather than with joy. The brain resists the concept of a future after anticipating the end, and you strain to hear birds.
The landscape feels vacuumed, like the audio was deleted, so you crank the radio to hear an addendum.
Radiation levels are stabilizing, so maintain shelter for 4 to 8 additional hours until distribution hubs activate upon clearance.
You realize the humans behind that microphone have been sleepless too while holding the grid together with willpower.
You take a measured swallow of water, then audit the stockpile and log the entry of day 1. Walls are intact and you are still breathing, so you permit yourself the dangerous luxury of imagining aftermath. You imagine how you will exit and what the pavement will look like when the door finally opens. The heaviest burden is knowing that when you walk out, the old world is gone and fully deleted.
The coffee shops and safety were deleted in 24 hours. But there is a quiet steel truth.
You adapted and you did not shatter because you executed and analyzed, so you lived through the event.
If World War III started yesterday, safety is a myth, but there is a strategy built on pillars.
You cannot command geopolitics, but you command the square footage under your boots and time in your lungs.
The alert is just the prologue, because the real story is who you become when the noise stops.